as you've read, this is a labor union strike by the truckers, and it was about pay, and they were looking to extend a government support service that was introduced during the COVID-19 period, and they would like to extend that because there's now the new issue of the rising fuel prices. I guess you've probably noticed this. I've definitely noticed this. We're above double at this particular time of recording. So I can see why they wanted some kind of guaranteed bottom line. However, it was, of course, a controversial strike. It did shut down certain industries completely. I had a student tell me, she works in the steel industry, that they went through a panic period because they literally could not move their steel around to get to their customers. However, though, an update since this article was written, the strike has ended and the trade union actually got what they wanted.
Ooh, they got their way.
They did get their way.
Wow.
It was a heated debate, but they prevailed in the end.
I wonder if it was the government or the private companies who decided to, I guess, submit to the demands.
It wasn't clear in the article I read, but maybe you could search online for more detail.
Yeah, favorite search engine. Yeah, it was an interesting protest. Like I said, I don't think I was directly affected in that way, but there were definitely rising prices. I don't know if that was all to do with the truck strikes. But also maybe coronavirus, inflation, basically Russian war, everything that has been affecting the economy for the last 3 years. Yeah, it has definitely become a difficult situation in all things. And this was added on top of that.
Yes. Do you think that truckers should be guaranteed a minimum wage?
I've heard some of this argument before, a little bit. Minimum wage for any sort of service that, especially special services that require a little bit more high tech or special skills, there's got to be a lot of incentive to do it well and to do it quickly. And there's always this balance between making sure people earn enough money and making sure the business earns enough money as well. And when it comes to truckers, I think there's a balance between them getting somewhere quickly, well, and intact, and them getting a fair enough wage without hurting themselves medically, or hurting other people because they're just like too tired and they slam into the cars in front of them because they've been driving for 12, 14 hours just to get to their destination. There's a balance, and I don't know if many countries have hit that balance. But giving a minimum wage, it might take away the incentive for time, causing a little bit more slower and more expensive products, slower, transport and more expensive products. And not giving a minimum wage might affect the truckers to the point where they're not earning enough, and a lot of people become jobless, or at least have to work so much harder for so little pay. Yeah.
I suppose, yes, and the danger side of it, the safety side, I guess that could be a concern to everyone. A big truck crash could bring a city to a standstill.
Yeah. All right. Well, one of them, I think it was around 30 people who died, but the truck was going fast, and trucks are very heavy. And all the cars were stopped, and it just went through, I think it was 100 and something cars that were affected by that one truck. Trucker was fine. Or not fine, but not dead.
In Korea, most truck drivers are classified as independent contractors rather than company employees, so not permanent employees. How do you think this affects their career?
We saw this a little bit with the delivery drivers. Well, I shouldn't say any company names maybe, but different companies had this type of system with their delivery drivers. And I think that was seen as quite unfair to the workers by a lot of people in Korea. However, right after they got a lot more money, the price of delivery went up, and that was also unliked by people in Korea. So it is, again, one of those kind of balancing acts. But yeah, as for contractors, instead of being company employees, I think this affects the career by them being a little bit more free to move around, kind of shop around.
Flexibility is a pro.
Exactly. And the con is, of course, pay. pay and effort.
Yes.
I don't know. Do you agree with all that?
I think so. I mean, I guess technically speaking, I'm a contract worker,
Yeah,
and
we both are.
I like the flexibility. One of the reasons it's great to be an English teacher, you can travel, you can move around, it's lovely. But yeah, you've got to take the slight hit on benefits on the other side.
Yeah, that is true. Benefits go down. That's a big one.
Balances. Anyway, let's take a look at that vocabulary.
Bring to a standstill.
Bring to a standstill.
Institute.
Institute.
Revert.
Revert.
Heated.
Heated.
Saturation.
Saturation.